Hey y'all, Merry Christmas. It is actually late on Christmas Day. It is about 9:30 and I'm about to make some fried shrimp, as you can tell from the description. So I've already just peeled off the shrimp and cleaned them up with some water. And these are just raw shrimp, easy peel, shell on. They were deveined, which means you didn't have to do all that messy work. So in order to take off the shell, and this is what I do. Some people like to use the tail and leave the shell on the tail, but if you use a metal instrument to get this out of the fryer or out of the oil, then I like to just take all the shell off. So it's usually they devein it in the back, which means they cut it down the back, get rid of the vein. I like to peel it from the back towards the middle. Just grab it and pull it. And that was so easy. And then I like to just get my little fingernail underneath there. Oh, that's going to pull off, isn't it? Sometimes scissors work great. Okay, so I'm just going to peel this off. And then that part where the tail is, the actual little tail, I'm going to just snap off. Right here at the very bitter end. Because if you are leaving the shell on, you're missing a good amount of meat right there. So I'm just going to rinse this. Okay, and I'm going to take all my shrimp and just place it that I've cleaned. And just place it on a towel. I have quite a few here, because you really want to pat them dry before you put them in the flour. You don't want to make a big floury mess. Come on guys, move over. Move over. And then I'll just take this and pat them dry, and when they're drying, or just sitting there for a moment, I'm going to show you what I put in the mixture for the flour. So you're going to want at least 2 to 3 cups of flour, depending on how many shrimp you're doing. I'm doing about 10 or 11. If you're doing lots of shrimp, you're probably going to need about 4 or 5 cups of flour. So in here I put some seasoned salt, some paprika, some garlic powder, and I can't forget the pepper. Because you want it to have flavor, you want it to have a little bit of a kick. Now personally, the person that I'm following the recipe from put hot sauce in his egg wash. I don't like anything spicy. My stomach can't handle it. So I'm going to crack a couple of eggs. Okay. And here is the second egg. Just going to scramble this up. And you can use regular milk, you can use buttermilk. A lot of people use buttermilk. There we go. But I'm going to use half and half. It's going to make it a little bit thicker. I think that's enough. It's going to make it a thicker coat. Use half and half, which is, I believe, half milk and half heavy cream. And if you put too much milk in it like I just did, you can always throw in some paprika and a little bit of salt, because half and half does taste a little bit sweet. And the one thing you don't want is sweet fried shrimp. Okay. There we go. Okay. Methodical, or you can just throw all these shrimp in once they're patted dry. If they're not completely dry, that's fine. The flour will dry them. So I'm the kind of gal that I just like to throw them all in. Now if you want to butterfly them, you can do that, but I'm not going to do that. I'll do about half. I'll just toss it with my hand. You should have your heat probably medium high. And if you're on an electric stove, that's probably about a number 7. Okay, do that. Shake off the excess. And these are supposed to be jumbo shrimp. They probably are. I love shrimp and seafood so much that, I mean, it could literally be the size of my hands and I'll not be happy. Okay, any more? Nope. I'm going to toss the other ones in here. Make sure you shake off the excess flour. Usually people do a quick dip. You're going to want to let these sit in here for a few minutes. For just maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And while that is sitting, I'm going to work on these again. I could have actually made the whole bag, but I'll save some for tomorrow. And with the egg, just flip these over. Push them together. Make sure to shake off the excess. Okay. Now I'm going to take these and throw them back. I like to just scoop my hand up with whatever I'm doing. If this is breadcrumbs, if it's flours, and just sprinkle on top. So now I'm not going to have any confusion between what's done and what's not. Just going to coat these again. So just coat it nicely and just roll it around on the flour. You don't even have to, like, the more you try to perfect it by pushing in, like, and trying to get every single spot, the more you're going to mess it up. So just, this is real easy peasy, nice and easy. Get some more flour on you. The most important thing right now is to not crowd the pan. You want these to cook really well. So I might just put 5 or 6 in here and then wait and do the other few. Hopefully it's not too hot. Just shake a little bit of that extra. Oh yeah, it's ready. 2. Oh. And you can just lay them in there because the oil is so shallow. 4, 5. And don't scoot them around, don't touch them, just leave them the way they are. And you're going to want something like a metal slotted spoon. But I'm going to just take this off the side. Let that sit there. After about a minute and a half, you're going to want to flip them. And just relax. Don't be so nervous. I don't think that you can mess up this recipe. I really don't. I think these are done. They really don't need to cook for more than just a couple of minutes because you're going to overcook them. And then that would be a travesty, especially if you're using jumbo fried shrimp. I'll get you a good picture in a minute. Oh, this looks divine. And this is like a battered fried shrimp. This is not like breadcrumbs. If you like a real crunchy fried shrimp, I suggest you use the battered kind like you just saw. I do not like the breadcrumb kind. I feel like it kind of makes them cheap. Yeah, my goodness. And another thing that I love about this is that they're so quick to cook. So you're not sitting there waiting for a long time between batches. It took, what, like 3.5, 4 minutes? And you're just going to lay them in there, like so. And if you feel like that they've dried out a little bit and then you need to hit them with more flour, just keep your flour. But these look delish. Three, two, one. Okay, now I'm going to flip these bad boys. And I love how the oil went from like a like a light golden to this color. Because you know that there's some spices in there. And you know that it's nice and hot too. Okay, separate babies. Put one in the middle and separate. Yum. I had my oil on for probably a good 10 minutes before I put them in here, so when you start your flouring process is when you're going to turn your oil on. And I cannot wait. Look at this beautiful, beautiful fried shrimp. That is gorgeous. In 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. And do one at a time. Don't rush it. Especially if you have larger jumbo shrimp. I treat my seafood really well. I'm very careful with them. Because this to me is like, this is living. Livin. I don't know if anybody ever seen Dazed and Confused movie before, but that was a little throwback to that. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to turn this handle out. And see, I'm not going to waste all that much oil. And look at all the flour and seasoning on the bottom. Okay, so let's go back over here. Actually, I think I'm just going to stay here. And 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this is looking good. I'm just going to take the paper towel out from underneath. Next time I would, because they're going to be beautiful, but next time I would put the heat up just a little bit higher, maybe like if you're on electric, maybe about an 8. That's almost all the way up there. You don't want it too hot, but I think next time I definitely want it a little bit hotter so it can crisp up. And I've saw another recipe. I mean, I've looked at a lot of recipes to make this. And somebody used a little bit of cornmeal. I might try that next time. Okay, so I have all my shrimp. Looking good. I have a little bit of bulbs and tartar sauce. Not a lot, because I don't know how much if I'm going to like it or not. But let's dig in. I'm not even going to move back to the other. Ooh, that's too hot. That's one of the fresh ones. That's one of the fresh ones too. Woo. Okay. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Are the cooler ones on this side? Yeah, this is a cooler one. Look at that. Look at that crisp on it, like right there. You can see that crisp on it right there. Dip it in a little bit of tartar sauce. Mmm. Mmm. That is so good.